This is Ricker and Vaughn. Hello.
Uh,
Skype is dead. Warren Buffett is dead in his career. But
and he was
no.
also that dog. He's going to be giving us some fucking tips on how to ask your wife for an open marriage in today's episode of Ricker and Vaughn. Listen up because we have some good golden nuggets in this one.
Fire talk. This the brochure speaking. Now tuna fish was my favorite dish. Previous.
You can't start a track saying tuna fish was my favorite dish, dude.
Why not?
All right.
The dish, I admit that I'm really blessed. Titty boy, the shit, popping it. Oh, just like a zit. That's just common sense. In the A, these young niggas crazy. Better on a stick.
That's rude, dude. You can't call people crazy.
What if they are crazy?
All right, dude.
Track hawks and them Hellcats tearing up the strip. This young lady, she came to the A just so she can strip. I'm the boss, so just listen up. Gave myself a raise. Her first night dancing at the club, got swindled out the face.
I didn't catch that word before the face.
I didn't catch anything he's saying. Wait, he's saying words? I just hear mumbling.
I thought it was just he was making little melody noises. Two Chains with Ronald Isley and the Isley Brothers.
Is this like a remix? I thought the Isley brothers are dead.
Well, it looks like Ronald Isley might be alive.
It's
Or
crazy. What a mashup.
no, I think that song has been sampled a lot, and he might have just actually featured them on the track for most likely money purposes.
What's Two Chains up to these days?
Just being titty boy, dude. Like there's nothing more successful in life than calling yourself titty boy and being wealthy from it.
Yeah. Titty boy, Ricker and Vaughn. Speaking of titties, I don't know where I was going with that.
Ronald
Banter.
Isley is still alive. His children, Tawana and Ronald, are listed on Google's info section on the right. He's
Huh.
83 years old, Isley brother. That's really old.
Lovely, lovely. I wonder what he thinks of Two Chains discography.
He probably bumped a little. Oh, see, yeah, he's in the background. And there's another man with a guitar, so I'm just maybe he's a son, perhaps.
Hmm.
But Two Chainz is really telling about his life in the East Atlanta. The song's called the ATL Experience, the ATL Experience, all caps. This is my music YouTube channel. I'm Jonathan Fantano.
Bald man extraordinaire.
I only listened to his video about the weekend, and he liked
You,
it. So suck it,
you mean Anthony Fantana?
Anthony Fantano,
Internet's
music
busiest,
man, dude.
baldest music nerd.
Is that, does he ever say that? He does say that, doesn't
He's the internet's busiest music nerd, according to him.
he? Is he that? That
That's what he says. He's been around for a minute.
yeah, he's back in freaking. He's still on like second gen YouTube vibes.
How do you like listen to so much music? So
That's
many
an out like a
genres.
few hours a day. Does he have a website? Because he should.
I think so.
It's very like bloggy.
Yeah.
TheNeedledrop.com. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, he is the self-proclaimed internet's busiest music nerd. Very yellow. His videos go up if you make the window small. It makes it smaller. Copyrights 2024. Hosted on DigitalOcean, a product of LG Media. The website is. And you
Hmm.
might know LG Media from their work with Lambgoat's Media Network officially launches Lambgoat, No Echo, Ghost Cult, Metal Insider, and New Metal Agenda websites.
I'm not familiar with their work.
Well, you mean you don't know LG Media's work with New Metal website, whatever I just said? I couldn't.
No, I can't say. I can't say that I am familiar.
Rick and Bond, the world's busiest banter podcast on the internet. You watch it sometimes.
I don't just watch it. I live Ricker and Bond.
It's just a really well made commercial for a
Okay, what are we
podcast.
talking about today? Let's Let me spend a good 15 minutes trying to log into Notion, and then we will get started with the show.
Skype hangs up, Microsoft officially retires the OG video call app. After over 20 years, Microsoft is shutting down Skype to fully pivot toward Microsoft Teams, making the end of an era in digital communication for little boys who wanted to talk to older gentlemen or ladies, depending on who they talked to, but they weren't really sure.
I was one of those little boys, yes.
We brought it
Skype,
up on the podcast. We officially killed Skype. They said, "Ooh, R&B freaking said Skype was for talking to little kids," and they said, "No, we're doing full teams."
yeah, fucking fuck Skype anyway. That shit was lame, even though it was like the only way to talk back then on the phone. How come everybody lost their mind when FaceTime came out, as if Skype hadn't been around for like 5 years before?
Because yeah, I remember. No, it was AOL. I was talking to girls on from my school on AOL.
That's
Well,
pretty cool.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
I was talking to 35-year-old men as a 15-year-old, just trying to fucking get a picture of some titties, but I was
Nice.
probably talking to a fucking a dude who was taking pics of my wiener and probably doing God knows what with them. Sending them to my family saying, send me $1,000 or I'm gonna publish these on your parents' Facebook page.
They're like, "What's Facebook?"
Yeah. Yeah, Jesus.
The first I think internet pornography experience I ever had was going like through AOL, and then I went to like someone's not someone's but like a tasteful naked picture site, and she was on like a white bear rug. That was
Hot.
pretty cool, dude.
Really? I remember mine. I was literally with my little sister on the computer, and we were really into Avatar, The Last Airbender, and we looked up like Avatar shit on Google. We were brand new to Google Images, and like on the third page, it was just like Avatar porn, and I was
Third
like,
page,
oh, I was
Google,
like,
come
what the
on.
fuck is this? And I clicked it, and of course it goes to a website, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, my fucking hero Aang, what is he doing? I didn't know what sex was yet. My fucking hero, what is he
Aang is
doing?
ripped, dude. Aang got really old and really strong.
Now looking back, I'm like, who the fuck makes shit like that? Like, who the fuck takes the time to sit
people
down,
people thinking about SEO in like 2006 or like
draw fucking
what's good? Oh,
cartoons, dude?
cartoons. I'm thinking of human.
Yeah, nah, it was like fucking like comic book style. Yeah,
That's it. That's quite the lift.
I had to be fucking 11, 12 maybe.
Third page, Google, jeez. And that's how they made
Yeah,
safe search.
yeah, fuck.
Ricker and Bond podcast really tells internet digital companies how to do things. Microsoft retires Skype to focus entirely on Teams, ending a platform that once defined internet calling.
How do we get into that? Jesus Christ, I'm just going down a rabbit hole.
I was thinking of Skype, AOL, naked lady via AOL, Avatar, Google
That's
Safe Search,
crazy.
trigger back via Google to another conglomerate or whatever they are. Speaking of conglomerate, Warren Buffett is a quitter.
A quit the 100-year-old man.
Who's been working for 6 decades.
Refuses to come into work, refuses to come
Well,
into
he
the
did
office.
say he's still going to come in, but he's quitting, dude. He's a quitter.
He's yeah, what the
Warren Buffett
94 steps down after
stepping down.
55 years. Um,
He's giving it to Greg Abel, dude. Well, he's suggesting to the board this. So he had the Berkshire meeting where a bunch of 40,000 people go into Nebraska who bought his stock and then like buy more See's candies from him to listen to Mr. Buffett talk. And I was thinking, was this the first like boring financial media thing that got mainstream and kind of cool? I'm not really sure when it became cool, but like they showed a 10Q, there's like a 10K but quarterly. It was on my TV. Like that's pretty revolutionary.
you're talking about his shareholder meetings?
Yeah, the Berkshire
Th-
meeting.
They're televised?
Oh yeah, dude, it's Coachella.
Oh, yeah, I knew they were big deals, but I didn't know they were like
Yeah,
anybody could watch them. I
it was
thought like they were kind of secretive.
on CNBC. No, I think I. That's actually a good question. But that's what I was saying. I don't know when they kind of became mainstream like that.
Maybe he's just too heartbroken that his homie died, so he's just like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I gotta.
That's true. Now, do you think Warren Buffett cried at all when Charlie Munger died? It's a good question.
Probably, but also it's like he probably expected that day to come at any
That's
time
what I
for
was
like the
saying.
last 40
I
years.
remember I was at my grandfather's funeral once, and I saw my uncle, who was my grandfather's son, and he was kind of just like sitting down, like sitting in a chair, looking down, and I was like, "Oh, that's it's like when you know your like family's about to die, and you're like, oh well, that happened."
Damn.
When did Berkshire shareholder meetings become popular and televised? Now, I'm asking ChatGPT this. I will say I was a little frustrated with ChatGPT this morning. I put in my articles, and I have a summary. We have a report. I expect a certain format. Okay.
Hmm.
When I put in my articles. And chat knows this. GPT knows this. It's in its memories. It's programmed. And I said, you've done this a million times. That's not the format I want. And I
And then what? It says, sorry, master.
that was it's so funny to get like actually a little bit frustrated, be like, dude, come on, you've done this before.
Yeah. It's like, do better. The fuck? Like,
It's a
you're
at the end it's
for
a
a free
thank you for your
service.
patience. Well, no, I pay. I pay.
Oh.
I don't know if I even need to at this point. I think I might, Um
What do you think is really going on behind the scenes?
what do you mean?
Because it's like talking like a human,
Yeah.
and it's like you could talk to it about like shit, and it's like giving you advice. And I'm
Yeah.
like, wait a second, you're a fucking computer. The fuck? Like, not even that. You're like not even here. You're like on a server somewhere else.
This is what people thought of the internet just for the first like 60 years.
This is so weird, dude, because it's
I'm not going to
like
talk to glass.
yeah, it's crazy, especially when you're like down in the dumps and you're like, dude, nobody gives a fuck. Might as well
Dude,
talk to ChatGPT.
it's such a good, it bounces brain. It's like, dude, what do I do in the situation?
Yeah, but
I
I'm
need
also
an
like,
idea, chat.
what if it's just like giving me just the most biased shit that I want to hear? Like, I want it to push back on me a little bit.
Yeah, you could probably ask it to, or there's a bunch of other models that probably don't.
And be like, yo, chat, stop being such a cocksucker.
In the 1980s to 1990s, the meetings were relatively small in the Berkshire shareholder meetings held in modest venues like the National Indemnity Co. office. Love the now kind of dead trend of companies calling themselves just what they do plus company.
What they do plus company.
Yeah.
What like
Computer Company A,
oh,
Inc.
like Miller Textile Co.
Yes. Everything
Apple
is called
Computer Co.
Flapper and Bubble
And AI.
and freaking website, shiny website, AI.net.
Amazon.com, Web3 AI.
Amazon.com, I think, still is listed as Amazon.com. I think they might have just changed it as a stock. In 1994, the meeting moved to Omaha's Orpheum Theater to accommodate around 1,200 attendees. We're talking 40,000 people in attendance yesterday. So let's see how we got there, huh? In the late 1990s to 2000s, the meetings began to draw thousands of shareholders, turning into a weekend festival of sorts with events, shopping, and Q&As. Buffett and Charlie Munger hit the stage with no shirt on and really put on a show.
No shirt
2004,
on.
well, I mean, that was the 90s, 2004 and onward, often referred to as the Woodstock for capitalists, the meeting began attracting over 20,000 attendees annually to Omaha. In 2020, the pandemic, the meeting was live streamed for the first time via Yahoo Finance. Interesting choice. Uh,
Yahoo Finance. Well, I guess Yahoo Finance is like the biggest finance
oh,
website.
I I guess 2020 was the first time. It was the first time it was live streamed online. Post 2020 live streaming continued making it widely televised. Oh,
I know it wasn't on BerkshireHathaway.com.
dude, I love that website so much. It just motivates me.
I don't think it has the technical
It
infrastructure to handle
just
4K streaming.
motivates me, dude. Is it HTML or what? Is it just a
Yeah,
freaking? That's so
it's
awesome, dude.
just HTML, a little CSS.
If you have any comments about our capital WEB page, you can write us at the address shown above. However, due to the limited number of personnel in our corporate office, we are unable to provide a direct response. Also hilarious.
Copyright 1978 to 2025.
They're, they they got a better copyright than Anthony Fantano, the music's business or internet nerd, provided by LG Media.
This is literally like a fucking
My dream, dude.
a website.
It's my
Like,
dream, dude. Just
and by that I mean I'm clicking links and it's taking me to another page. It's taking me to a new file with each click. Like that is this is not an app, ladies and gentlemen. This is a website.
I mean, that's pretty cool. That means it's just freaking files in a server. And
That yeah, so each page is a different file, which is like I don't know.
the
I
file.
guess you can consider that bulky. Now, modern web pages are just one file and they just dynamically change based on what you press, so you don't go from URL to URL.
And so they got their investor presentations for Hathaway Energy, which was well, currently is Berkshire Hathaway Energy is CEO by Greg Abel. And Mr. Buffett, the quitter that we all know, was put a bombshell live for everybody to see on CNBC on TV and 40,000 people live in Nebraska, saying that I'm gonna suggest Mr. Abel becomes the CEO of Berkshire Hathaway Inc. And Greg didn't know about it, dude. And I was gonna say it was the first time that Berkshire or Warren Buffett's really solid PR and branding kind of withered away. The man is the son of an investor congressman, and he also has children, and I've never heard about his children. His children are on the board of Berkshire Hathaway.
Warren Buffett?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought his kids didn't give a shit. Oh, I know. I think I remember rehearing on a podcast that uh, these kids are in charge of like giving away his money.
Mm.
They're like in their 60s and like over time they're gonna be fucking like giving away his shit.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Chuck Chang is the senior vice president and CFO of Berkshire Hathaway Energy. Now, the frontman power that Mr. Buffett and Mr. Munger provided to these Hathaway meetings, it doesn't seem like Mr. Greg, Big Greg, has the same amount of dry charisma as the other two. So, what happens to the show that is the Berkshire Hathaway shareholder meeting?
And are we not gonna talk about how Warren Buffett cheated on his wife?
His PR is crumbling, dude. He's a freaking nepo baby. His son,
We need to
he's
cancel him.
the son of a rich investor congressman. Everybody thought he was a little old man.
Is he wait, is he really? I know you just said that, but I thought you were joking, but was he really?
His father was an investor and a congressman.
Oh, that's cool. But he wasn't rich, right?
I'm pretty sure he was rich.
Like,
I
what do
have
we
no
mean by
idea
rich?
about
Like,
meaning.
well off, or do we mean like certainly he didn't have like millions?
You say certainly like it's very hard to believe.
It is kind of hard to believe because I've never heard that.
Well, when you have your Wikipedia listed as a businessman, um, and you were born in 1903, die in 1964, I tend to believe you probably have a few millions. But let's look at Howard Buffett. Howard Buffett.
Or you were middle class.
That's true. But let's see. He was an American businessman, investor, and politician, a four-term Republican United States representative for the state of Nebraska. He was the father of Warren Buffett.
Also lived through the Depression. Let's add that.
Um, career entering the investment business was his career before congressman. Buffett served on the board of education, just like my girl, your girl, wife of
Our girl.
wife of WWE's former WWE's own Vince McMahon, Linda McMahon. That's right. The education, they call her the board lady. I find it tickles me that a McMahon is in a public office.
Seems like Warren Buffett had an open marriage. What I'm reading here on Reddit.
Jeez, is that so?
This is coming in hot from Reddit. Billionaire investor Warren Buffett had an open marriage with his first wife, Susan Thompson, until her death in 2004.
Oh wow,
Thompson,
ran
Thompson,
into the ground.
yeah, Thompson. She died of a broken heart because he was fucking too many hoes. Thompson left Buffett to pursue a singing career, but they remained amicably married, and she gave him permission to date other women while she was getting plowed
Well, they
by
just
Terrell from
left. They
sales.
just separated. That's just called being alive in 1950.
I thought everybody was just married back then, and nobody just fucking. Everybody got married at 19 and had
Mm.
15 kids. Thompson also introduced her husband to Astrid Minks, who became his companion. The trio became close friends, you know what that means, and even sent out Christmas cards together. I read a funny comment. Polly dude got it partly right. It was a smart wife that knew that the man she married would make a shitloads of money. So regardless of love, sex, or anything else, it made sense to stay married. Try making a living as a singer, aka Jimmy, not related. The point being is marriage is about business. Polyamory is supposed to be about love, but appears to mostly be about sex. I don't know what this guy's saying.
Dude.
All we know is Warren Buffett was a dog.
uh,
Or is a dog. He's still alive.
his father, Howard Buffett, was probably middle to upper class, but
Middle
he
upper
did own
class.
a small investment firm, so he probably is fine.
So he had that knowledge.
Well, yeah, that's what Mr. Warren said at the conference too. He was like, "Yeah, I kind of got lucky. My dad was in the investment business."
And the knowledge is power.
In short, Howard is financially comfortable. Um, so yeah, Howard Buffett coming back to life. Competitive electric rates is what Berkshire Energy has to offer to the world. In 2024, energy revenue looking like Nevada was the biggest sector for energy revenue in 2024. 2024 adjusted earnings on common shares, we're talking about Mid-American. Now, diversified credit profile. Um, so next gen of Berkshire Hathaway has officially started yesterday, or at least started to start. But the charisma for the meetings probably will never be there again. I think
Yeah.
I think he died maybe 2 years ago, Munger. They had an empty chair, and then this next one, they had Warren, energy CEO, and insurance CEO. And insurance CEO is an Indian man, and his charisma definitely not on the same charts.
He's too young.
No, he's old. I mean, he's a middle-aged man, but he just kind of talks like a insurance guy. And Buffett and Munger just had that freaking. They were just dogs, dude.
Yeah, they used to plow through hoes together and then go home to their wives, kiss them on the mouth.
And then just talk about buying businesses.
Yeah, he wanted to buy In and Out.
Ooh, that would have been a nice one.
He wrote letters to the owner asking to purchase portions of it, but they refused.
Pussies, dude.
That
Give
would be
Buffett your
fucking,
business.
yeah, they
Apparently,
were
Buffett was very hands off with operations.
yeah, just hired people. Hired
I
good
would
people and read.
assume so, but he was like
Strip,
self-deprecating. He's like, "Yeah, dude, I don't do anything, but Mr. Greg does a lot with operations, so he'll do better."
stroked his cock at
Yeah,
the
a
office.
bit. But the board might not even freaking pick Mr. Greg for CEO.
The board,
The board.
fuck the board. You know how much I sacrificed?
Greg Abel, dude.
You know how much I've given to this company? Two
Probably not a lot. He
divorces.
probably showed up a couple decades ago. Let's see. He's Canadian, by the way.
Gross.
Canadian.
Get him out of here.
Gonna be CEO of Berkshire Hathaway, probably. But maybe not, dude. Board, why is this a painting of him? It was in Fortune. Four children, Mr. Abel has. He's 62. Went to Alberta University. Bachelor of Commerce. He began his career as a chartered accountant with PricewaterhouseCoopers in their San Francisco office. 1999, 92, joined Cal Energy as a geothermal Oh no, he joined Cal Energy. So he's a freaking accountant. Cal Energy was acquired by Mid American. Mid American was acquired by Berkshire later that year. Abel became CEO 8 years later. That doesn't really tell me anything about how that happened. The company was renamed to Berkshire Hathaway Energy. So man's just was born in Canada, liked hockey, got an accounting degree, went to San Francisco, 6 years in San Francisco to another job, CEO in 8 years,
This guy sounds like a pussy.
acquired by Berkshire. I mean, I will not lie. The first glance is pussy forward. He has a
This
funny
guy,
little face. He kind of looks like
this
Prince Charles.
guy's a pussy. I've been smashing his wife for months.
No, he's Mr. Abel. Anything that is said as a colleague here is not a reflection of me or the institution of Ricker and Bond. You're welcome to go on anytime, Mr. Abel. I don't think he's actually plowed your wife.
It's okay. You don't have to think. She
Dude,
knows.
this Wikipedia page has almost like the same amount of references as it does sentences. What's up with
That's
that?
wild.
On May 3, 2025, Warren Buffett was quoted saying, "The time has arrived where Greg should become the chief executive officer of the company at year end, thus paving the way for Abel to step into Buffett's shoes as overall CEO of Berkshire Hathaway." Now, as a Wikipedia editor, I would probably edit the way that said Buffett's shoes as overall CEO of Berkshire Hathaway. I'm sure there's better lexicon to be used.
Do you think that Warren Buffett checks his blood pressure daily?
Dude, maybe. See, he's had this good brand. He's branded himself so nice. Little Nebraska man. Didn't know anything about his investor firm, congressman father. Never heard of his kids. No one ever talked about him. He stayed low and steady, dude. But maybe he's over there just freaking genetic, transgenic mice testing himself for blood and DNA. Or he doesn't give a hoot's hoot because he was born in freaking like 1930 and he's old, so he drinks Coke and sees candy.
$168 billion.
Probably more.
Like, that's fucking. It's probably all cash, too. Not all cash,
That
but
mother
mostly
effer dude
cash.
went to cash where everything went red, dude.
Yeah, he did a few months before.
Crazy. Be even crazier if he just did it because, like, not because he thought anything macro was coming, but I forget the reason I was thinking of. But just like he was about to buy something else, and then all of a sudden the market crashed. Oh.
I, I, I think that he. I don't know if I said this on the podcast before. I think that he. I think it's super simple. He heard Trump say he was going to tariff the shit out of China, and he understood what that meant. So he was like,
he
"Fuck
he
that!
was
I'm gonna."
around the Hoot Smalley joint that everyone references that I think also went bad with tariffs historically. He was around for that. He was like, "Hold on, I've seen this
Well,
happen."
let's check the date. When did he sell his shit? I'm pretty sure it was right after the election. When did Warren Buffett sell? What should I say? His shares in Apple. His shares in Apple. Do.
My AI is also searching the web.
Warren Buffett and his company began significantly selling off Apple stock in the first half of 2024. Oh, that's right. First half, I remember that. Specifically in the second quarter of 2024, they sold 80 billion worth of Apple shares. While this was a substantial sale, Berkshire still retained a significant stake in Apple with over 905 million shares. Um,
Warren said he's embarrassed that Tim Cook made the company more money than him.
he
Yeah.
did.
No, I don't think the tone was like embarrassed, but he's probably like, yeah, I'm embarrassed. Tim Cook made more money than I ever have. I'm Warren Buffett.
On November 2nd, 2024, Reuters wrote that Berkshire's cash sourced to 325 billion. Buffett sells Apple, Bank of America. So this was like 2 days before the election. So maybe he was like, fuck, if fucking Trump wins, the tariffs are going to tank the
this,
economy. If
this man's been
Kamala
talking.
wins, it's going to tank the economy anyway.
He's been talking about terrorists since 1980, dude.
Yeah, bro
Dang,
is like,
Trump.
he's super fucking, his investment strategy is pretty simple. When
Yeah,
everybody is greedy, sell.
he likes assets, dude. He said he likes to look at the balance sheet rather than earnings on not earnings, but even revenue. He said,
I mean, that's
or no, I
smart.
think earnings. I believe because you can fudge earnings. You can probably fudge revenue too. Anyways, um,
Hopefully you don't fudge revenue. That would be. And then what's the point?
let's uh let's wrap it here. Get some go on a good note.
Okay.
Alrighty, that's Ricker and Bond. Goodbye.
Goodbye.